I want to jump to this next story, my friends, from ABC News. Civil war is back on the menu. Minnesota governor says he is preparing National Guard amid furor over fatal ICE shooting. Indeed, let me play the video for you so you can hear it for yourself and interpret it as you would like to.
And these National Guard troops are our National Guard troops. They're teachers in your community. They're business owners. They're construction professionals. They are Minnesotans. Minnesota will not allow our community to be used as a prop in a national political fight. We will not take the bait. We will continue to update you, Minnesota, as we get more information. Now I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard. We have soldiers in training and prepared to be deployed if necessary. I remind you, a warning order is a heads up for folks. And these National Guard troops are our National Guard troops.
So it started from the middle, but basically what he said is we're prepared to deploy the National Guard, and we will not allow the federal government to use it as a prop. For what purpose would the governor deploy National Guard right now? Is he going to deploy the National Guard against the protesters angry at ICE when he said, ICE, get out? No. He's making it clear that he intends to use National Guard against the federal government to remove ICE. Jacob Frey said, get the F out of Minneapolis. I fear that if Donald Trump does not immediately move to federalize the Minnesota National Guard, they will be dispatched, maybe not directly, but intentionally to fight the federal government.
Yeah, I mean, this is how you can tell that this isn't actually a debate over the legitimacy of the shooting or what the legality is. He had the talking points ready to go. He had his strategy ready to go, and he was just waiting for finally a cause has finally come about where I can actually, grind this axe that I have with the Trump administration over. I said it has nothing to do with this lady. I mean, this lady is just the cannon fodder for what he's actually trying to do. And he's probably relieved when he saw it. He's like, finally, I have a justification to...
Yeah, it's not about the fraud for one moment.
Yeah.
Who does he think he is? He can just waltz in there and order more troops.
But I also want to play this clip as well. Governor Walz has called on people to take to the streets. We are now in the territory of overt sedition. I mean, this is not me being cute.
Yep.
It's crazy. I posted a video of the shooting, and I kept the language as dry as possible. Breaking, video shows moment, individual is shot and killed by DHS. Vehicle accelerates. I said vehicle accelerates towards officer, who then opens fire as he sidesteps. And people are like, "You're lying." Liberals were like, "You're lying," and I'm like, "I said the video shows it." Here's Tim Walz now calling for an uprising. I can't hear the question that's being asked, but let's jump ahead.
Following this week, seeing what's happening in the backdrop of a show hearing in D.C., my job is to govern, and my job is to see what the facts are. This happened a couple of hours ago, and we're already pitting American against American. All of you saw a video in your eyes. We have a chaotic situation caused by the largest deployment in American history of federal agents into a community with no communication to locals. We had a chaotic situation where an individual is in their car, shot and killed. And so, look, I want to be very cautious here because Donald Trump will make this about me. He will make this about politics. This is about public safety, and this is about normalcy. To Americans who are watching this, if you're in Portland or you're in LA or you're in Chicago or you're wherever they're coming next, stand with us. Stand with us against this. This was so preventable, so unnecessary, and I don't know. I hope. Maybe we're at the McCarthy moment. Do you have no decency? Do you have no decency?
So my question to you guys is, what would you call it when a governor threatens to deploy the National Guard to stop the federal government from using him as a prop, and then he calls on Portland, LA, Chicago to stand with us against this? I know it's just more rhetoric, and maybe it fizzles here, but we have already seen efforts to stop Trump deploying National Guard, which is within his rights and purview as president, into various states to enforce the law in areas where he's allowed to, or under the protective principle, which is not to enforce the law, but to protect federal buildings. That's largely what Trump has been doing. The federal agents, I should say, to clarify, were deployed for law enforcement. Now, this is, once again, we've already got blue state governors trying to stop Trump from taking control of the National Guard, stop him from deploying law enforcement to enforce the law. And now Tim Walz calling on other blue areas to stand with them because they're coming next.
And he's got the Somali flag up instead of the Minnesota flag. And this sign language person is completely upstaging him.
That's usually the case.
It's
But
like it's like the trans version of him. I couldn't take my eyes off of them.
Well, the sign language people are always overly more expressive. And so that's why everybody's always like, how come the sign language person outshines? Well, they're supposed to, because in sign language, you're like really getting the emotion across. It's like
get the point.
They're trying to get their next gig.
Yeah. I will also say, too, because I know there's going to be a leftist fact check, the flag behind Tim Walz is the new flag of Minnesota, which closely resembles one of the regional flags of Somalia.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's one of the regions of Somalia has a specific flag. It's like a Somali state flag of some sort, and it very much looks just like that.
Wow.
Yep. So, man, you know what I can say is we've been talking about the rift between the right factions of the right, the retard right, and the regular right. I guess we can call it. That was you, right, Tate?
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of the retard right's taking the side of the woman. Like they're going full liberal.
Oh, they're just contrarians. They're just natural contrarians.
Yeah. There's a sect of people on the right that are just basically anti-Trump and are moving to never Trumper.
Mm-hmm.
And these were people who were like very much populist right for a while, but now they're I guess the retard right.
Yeah. They're spiritually leftist. They don't actually acknowledge sort of the actual undercurrent of right-wing thought, sort of hierarchy, these sorts of things. These are people that, you know, I said it yesterday, the right-wing thought, you know, for a while was kind of sexy and edgy, and it was in some regards low risk to believe in, because you actually, for the longest time, we didn't expect us to be ruling again. Like during the Biden winter, it kind of felt like it was over in a lot of ways. And then now with the Trump administration has emerged, Trump 2, never surrender, these sorts of things, we're in power again. And these people go, oh, wait, no, I didn't think we were actually going to be in power. I wanted to be a contrarian for the rest of my life because it feels good, makes me feel like I know something that everyone else doesn't.
Yeah, it's like you have the luxury to believe in that and be a right-tard. What did you say? A right retard?
Retard right.
Retard
Yeah.
right, yeah.
The retard right, like Candace Owens.
I think Pat Casey
Funny
coined
example.
that, so I want to give him a shout out, but
Oh, okay.
he certainly popularized it.
He's great. The whole contrarian thing is something that I think that we need to pay attention to, because it doesn't matter who's in charge. They're just going to be saying, well, I don't like them. And that's one of the things that drives me nuts about libertarians. It's like they're so anti-government that even when there's an administration that's in office doing good things, they're still going to find something to complain about, because their whole identity is wrapped up in, well, I'm against the government. I'm against the government, period, which means they don't even like when the government does good things, or when there are good things happening for your country, they can't even accept wins, you know? Yeah. And it's really, really detrimental to the whole country. Totally. They'll align with leftists if they have to. It doesn't matter.
Well, because they have an ideology that's so niche and so abstract and requires like very specific circumstances to actually come to fruition. And so they know that that's never going to happen. So they're always going to nitpick. But it's like, dude, you're super based anarcho-capitalist libertarianism is probably not going to happen in the United States anytime soon. So if that's your standard, your expectation is like perfection and complete alignment with your ideology, you're going to always be dissatisfied. Like, you don't think we're all making concessions every here and there? Because that's how politics work. You have to have a central guiding philosophy, and then you identify what's the most viable political vehicle that's going to deliver me what I want.
Yep.
It's politics 101.
And they're not interested in anything other than the purity test.
Because they're naturally not prudent. That's why they say retarded stuff all the time. Because they don't understand prudence. They don't understand pragmatism. They just want to be loud and boisterous and have fun. And it's like, well, when we're talking about the future of the country, we're talking about my kids' country.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in fun. I'm interested in winning.
Yeah.
There's also the way things that I've been seeing is there's a lot of influence operations happening as well. Like who's being bought to say certain things. And we don't really know where the authenticity is on a lot of people. And there's a lot of people in this segment that you might be speaking about that are being bought and paid for. And you might only see this on X. You might not see this in their shows. You might only see it in certain places because that's where where they're being paid to do it.
There are some personalities that strangely on one platform are pro-Trump and on other platforms are anti-Trump. And I know I get a lot of comments. They're like, Tim, say who these people are. It may be in good time, because we already have, I'm not a big fan of drama, and I already have enough drama because I've been ragging on a certain individual quite a bit. But there's a handful of prominent conservative personalities that on X have been going pretty anti-Trump. And the reason is management companies run their social media. And so full disclosure, on Facebook, this is really funny. I was arguing with this guy, and he was like, "You put this video up on Facebook that said this thing," and I was like, "I don't run my Facebook. It's a management company. Like we have a management company that when I post shows and we make clips, they will take them and then post them when they think it makes the most sense. I don't have them change my opinions or pretend to be me. They post clips of my show with a quote from me. However, this means that a clip from 3 months ago might be posted tomorrow because it works well on Facebook. That's true. People do that. There are some people, however, who tell they have management companies that will post whatever gets the most interaction. So you'll follow someone on Facebook and they'll be very pro-Trump like crazy. You'll follow them on X and they'll be very anti-Trump because a management company running both their accounts and going whatever gets the most engagement. And that's the world we're living in authenticity, and it's all for money. So we say retard right because we're trying to be intentionally derisive, but it may just be the
compromised right.
For cash. You know what I mean? There you go.
Schizo right. No matter what adjective you use, it's going to be like derisive.
But the accounts are shells. You think you're following the real opinion. Look, I post all of my things on my X. That's why sometimes I post things that are stupid and offensive because I'm screwing with people. But a lot of these guys you follow, and ladies, they're not actually posting this stuff. Some of it's totally fine, right? Like Benny Johnson clearly has a social media person who does breaking news for him. Totally fine. That's normal stuff. We have a social media person who does our Timcast news, and we're talking about having him post breaking news on my personal page as well. But I'm kind of like, it's a coin toss because it's my account. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that. That's fine. But when you hire a company to make opinions for you, that's where things are getting weird. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.